It has also been a remarkable day in the news today, watching the White House and the president specifically absolutely bungle their response to the death of Arizona Senator John McCain this weekend. The range of potential responses to the death of a singular American political figure like John McCain, you think the range wouldn't be that wide, right? But this White House has taken something that ought to have been simple and straightforward, and they instead have found a way to repeatedly screw it up. First lowering the flag at the White House to honor Senator McCain, then raising it back up to full staff, then lowering it again after the president initially had refused to make any sort of statement about honoring McCain's legacy, and the White House then instead started trotting out lots of other officials, including the president's daughter, to say nice things, but pointedly, the president himself was not making any supportive statements. That eventually crumbled as well, and then the president did put out a begrudging positive statement, and then the flag went back down to half staff. The country is essentially unified in mourning the death of this singular figure in American history and politics, right? Respecting the sacrifices that he made for this country. He was held as a prisoner of war and tortured for 5.5 years. Even people who disagree with him vehemently on specific policy matters or on aspects of his record in politics, even people who dislike a lot of what John McCain did as a public figure, as a politician, have found a very easy path to recognizing his extraordinary, extraordinary service. Except for the White House, which has turned itself into a sideshow of, forgive me, but just self-interested incompetence, petulant grandstanding, caving reversals, and ultimately just shame on this. I mean, I'm sorry to use such strong language. I try not to do that in general about anything in the news, but I think it's unavoidable here, given the debacle they made here out of what ought to be the world's simplest, basic governing task when confronted with a sad moment like this, right? All you have to do at a moment like this, with a genuine, fully minted American hero, all you have to do, if you can do nothing else, is just be decent and don't make it about yourself. That's all you have to do. If you can do nothing else, if you could accomplish nothing constructive, be decent and don't make it about yourself. But in this White House, just spectacular failure on both of those counts. So I imagine the failure will continue on this front because it's not like they have a real history of getting their ducks in a row and they fail like this in such spectacular fashion, especially with the condemnation they're having from across the spectrum. But we will continue to watch them screw this up. And we will have more on both of those stories ahead tonight.